Welcome to the Yancy St Speakeasy, episode number 4?
4.5? No, yeah, 4, I guess. No, well, this is the 5th episode that we've recorded. Yeah, it's the 5th episode. The last one, God, we were sleepy for the last one. You in particular, you had such a long day.
Yeah.
And it's good to be back and at it. Right after that super sleepy podcast from that sleepy cast, a bunch of sleepy sheepies over here. We decided to stay up and watch the 2 hour 10-minute movie of Iron Man, the original, because we're trying to get a bunch of belated reviews to all you beautiful people out there, because why not? Everybody's hyped about Infinity Wars, and so we're gonna get you more hyped.
Yeah, if you're following along, we wanted to do a more prolonged lead up to Infinity War, and among many of the other things that we wanted to do, it didn't work out. So now everything's happening very quickly. So we're gonna review Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk today, and then tonight we're gonna watch Iron Man 2 after this, and I want to fall asleep during that.
I'm taking podcast selfies because why not? I don't know why you need to know that. I just got a look from Max because I'm taking selfies during the podcast.
Don't worry, there's no reason for you to have your full attention on this. You know, it's okay.
You know what? You got me there.
These people aren't paying full attention to us, so why should we be giving them our full attention?
Jeez, thank Christ we don't have a webcam. You're gonna see how many times I just get distracted by a fly on the wall, scratch something. Anyway, you want to dive right into the tour reviews? Start with the Hulk.
Well, we should start with Iron Man because that's the first movie, right?
Wait, did the Hulk come out after Iron Man?
It came out a month after Iron Man.
Oh, I always get I actually never went to see that one in theaters. I didn't see the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton until I think I watched it right after. I had a girlfriend at the time, and I was trying to get her into Marvel because she hadn't seen a single Marvel movie, and so I was trying to get her hyped. And so I decided to start because I thought the Edward Norton Hulk was the first one in the order. So I started off with that one, and I remember her not really enjoying that one that much. She's like, "It was okay," and I'm like, "Oh, great." And then I showed her Iron Man. She's like, "That fucking rocked." Yeah, her voice changed immediately. Like, she thought it was so cool. She dropped several octaves. It was awesome.
Well, it's kind of like if you were to try and introduce somebody to pro sports, and you took them to, like, if you told them about how awesome
curling. I'm sorry, anybody out there that does curling, that it requires an insane amount of precision, but it looks like you're janitors and you're mopping the floor very aggressively, and I giggle every time I see it.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're trying to impress a girl with your high octane sporting events,
high octane,
you don't swing by the curling ring and
I don't know how you operate your dates, but let me tell you, I've had some hot and spicy evenings that had to be cooled off by the ice of the curling rink.
So yeah. Anyway,
I'm a hopeless romantic.
You are hopeless, that's for sure.
Don't be a dick.
So, the first time I saw Iron Man, I saw it in theaters. I can't remember who with, but I loved it. It was so good. And then I also saw The Incredible Hulk in theaters, whatever month or so later that it came out. And I don't think I was the one who wanted to go see that movie. And I remember walking in like during the credits, the opening credits, and I was really confused because I thought it was supposed to be a sequel to the Incredible Hulk, I thought it was supposed to be a sequel to Ang Lee's Hulk.
And you were disappointed that it wasn't a sequel?
I wasn't disappointed. I just was confused.
Oh, okay.
So, I wasn't totally sure what they were shooting for, and
Mm-hmm.
I think they were kind of making it intentionally vague.
Yeah, well,
It was
yeah.
people use the phrase now soft reboot, which I feel like that's what it was, but they weren't like, I don't know. It would have been easier for my 17-year-old psyche, I suppose, if they were just like, this is something different. But I had a hard time grasping exactly what they were trying to do.
Yeah, maybe if they came out and specified.
But I don't know. I think I'm sure I thought the action was fun and cool. I don't remember being wowed by the movie as opposed to Iron Man, which I really liked.
I didn't enjoy it until I watched it a second time about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we decided we were going to undertake this. And I was actually far more impressed with it. The second time around, I thought Edward Norton was an excellent pick. I think he's a great actor. I don't think he's in enough things. And I like that they didn't do a... just jumping right into it, I'm glad that they didn't really do an origin story, or that they did sort of do an origin story, but they kind of sewed it into the opening credits.
Yeah, I think one of the problems for me was there were certain things like Liv Tyler, like she just was not good, and I mean. I've heard people say that they had chemistry in the movie, which I completely disagree with. I feel like Edward Norton's the kind of actor where he could have chemistry with a wall. If that was the part that was written for him. So
I will not argue with you there.
So I don't know. I feel like it's a struggle to watch her. I mean, and are you selfieing again?
No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm into my sister. I haven't seen my sister in a while, and I'm sending her really goofy pictures of me. She's like, "What are you up to?" And I'm like, "Podcasting." And she's like, "Send pics." And I'm like, "I'm trying and also trying to pay attention to this." I'm sorry, you guys have my full attention again. Say hi to Sarah though. I won't.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi there. Anyway, continue.
So yeah, it was a struggle to watch her act. I have a soft spot for her because of the Lord of the Rings, but that soft spot does not extend to actually genuinely enjoying watching her in other things. But yeah, so sorry.
I thought she had some. I thought she had some tender moments. I did enjoy the scene with her and like Hulk in the cave.
I did, but I didn't. That didn't have anything to do with her.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'll have to pay more close attention to her performance next time around. I was kind of I just had my eyes were for Ed only. The first time I watched it, and I think he just everything else was bathed in his glow, so I just assumed everybody else was at his level or around it.
Thunderbolt Ross was good for sure, and Emil Blonsky was pretty good. I mean, it was
Tim. What did you think of is it Tim Roth?
Yeah.
Tim Roth. What did you think of Tim Roth?
I like Tim Roth. I think
Abomination.
I thought he was pretty good.
I thought he was good until he turned into Abomination.
Then, yeah. Well,
Yeah. It's like
CGI.
I know, and there's a way to do it, and there's a way. I'm not saying they did it wrong. It was still pretty spectacular to behold. It just I don't know. He just it's hard to give a giant raging it's hard to give a giant rage monster personality, but Marvel's done it, and they didn't do it.
Well, they didn't do it before that.
Yeah.
They've done it since then.
Yes, this is true. I just thought, Abomination was just like and Hulk was like Hulk smash, and Abomination is like Abomination smash. And smash each other. Bah, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, I remember the finales were actually kind of problems for Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, because for me, I was really not super into the final battle between Ironmonger and Iron Man. I mean, it wasn't bad, but honestly,
it was short.
It was short, which was fine because the rest of the movie was so good.
Yeah.
I think the real problem for me was that here's kind of what I don't understand, and maybe this is just nitpicking, but I don't understand how Tony Stark could have been in the full blast of the beam. Okay, so so just to break it down for y'all. So Tony Stark is hanging from the roof of Stark Industries, and Pepper Potts sets off the reactor, or she overloads the arc reactor or something along those lines, and there's a sky beam that shoots up from Stark Industries to the sky.
Yeah.
AKA sky beam.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark gets like blasted out of the way. Like the beam hits him and he just flies to the side. No big deal. But Obadiah Stane just stands there and goes, I'm waving my arms right now. And he's in I think he's no more. So like I don't understand why Tony Stark just gets knocked to the side. That seems kind of convenient.
Maybe he's at the edge of the blast. I'm going to play devil's advocate. He's at the edge of the blast range and like the pressure wave that it produced.
But he's in the middle of the blast wave.
Well, maybe his armor's better than
the armor's definitely better, but he's not even wearing a helmet, I don't think.
Well, maybe he was protected by his dashing good looks.
Could be. Could be.
The mustache goatee combo was armor of its own.
I see.
Yeah.
He was contractually protected from dying in the movie? Is that what you're saying?
Because plot.
But yeah, I thought that the end battle was the weakest moment of Iron Man, but it was the weakest moment of an otherwise stellar movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the end battle was probably one of the weaker points of The Incredible Hulk, and I don't know. I didn't think it was bad. I actually really liked that scene where he's screaming at the storm. You know what I mean? I thought that was clever. I thought it was good, but.
I'm not taking selfies. I love everybody out there, but I'm just sending my sister one last one. She just got accepted into grad school, so everybody congratulate her on that. Yay! She also just beat her. She actually texted me today. I got her invested in a video game. I got her invested in Zelda Breath of the Wild, and she's never beat a video game to completion before. And today she told me that she beat Ganondorf. She beat Calamity Ganon. And she's sending me snaps right now of her trying a new. I bought her her birthday was recently. I bought her ukulele, and she's playing that. It's a cute little a little indie platformer. So yeah, she's like all about. I got her invested into video games, and I feel like I've accomplished great things as a brother. I'm talking about this far more than I'm talking about it like me getting her into video games is more important than her getting into grad school.
Yeah,
like,
you said you led with her, she got accepted to grad school, and then I thought you were gonna go somewhere with that, and you go straight into the video game.
I mean, she's definitely related to me because she's texting me and she seems far more enthused about the fact that she beat Ganondorf than she actually got accepted to grad school at the moment. So anyway, Yeah, so Ironmonger, and you were saying things, and I was being a 16-year-old a 16-year-old millennial Z Generation Z kid. What are we talking about now? I liked Iron Man. Iron Man was good. The fight scene, Ironmonger, him getting blasted, protecting by his goatee.
Thanks for the recap.
Hey, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
But there were so many other good moments in that. I mean, the intro to Tony Stark was great.
Oh my god, the first half of that movie is what makes the movie for me.
Ho Yinsen, great.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah,
he's like
sure.
He's like one of, I mean, he's the inspiration. I actually cried in theaters when he died. Like, I was super invested in him, and he was only around for like 20 minutes.
My family is dead. I'm going to see them now.
Stop it. It's too soon. It's too soon.
A decade later.
Still too soon. I don't like it.
So, yeah. I was one of the fools who did not stay to see the post-credits Avengers thing. But see, I mean... If you don't know, you don't know. I mean, when was the last time you stayed till the end of movie credits before that?
Dude, I didn't know either. Iron Man 2 was the first one that I saw in theaters. So I missed, I mean, it was pretty much just Hulk and Iron Man 1 before that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That was it? Okay.
So in 2008, Iron Man came out in May, and Hulk came out barely like a month and a couple of weeks later in June. So they came out very close to each other, and it wasn't a post-credit scene because it was just the last scene of the movie, but they did have Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, or playing Tony Stark, in the very last scene of the movie. So I got to see that, and I definitely got the moment of like, I heard about the Avengers post-credit scene in the month before I ended up going to see Hulk. So I knew about it. I missed out on having that moment, getting to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
But so then when I saw The Incredible Hulk in theaters and Tony Stark was talking to Thunderbolt Ross, I definitely got a little bit creamy.
Thunderbolt Ross. I'm gonna name, if I ever have a child, their middle name is gonna be Thunderbolt Ross.
And their first name is gonna be Maxwell.
Maxwell Thunderbolt Ross of France.
That's a mouthful when you say it.
Maxwell Thunderbolt Ross LaFrance. Hey, my last name is
Could be worse.
LaFrance, by the way. I actually had a really interesting conversation with somebody about that the other day. They're like, LaFrance, are you French? And I'm like, no, I'm Russian. So the thing is, there are some
Russian.
Tracey La Spain. I talked to some people in my area. I'm from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I'm from northeastern Bradford County. There's not a lot going on up there. It's kind of deer country. There are a good number of people around me that I know. I've asked them about their heritage, and they said that their family did come. There are a lot of French background families up there, and a lot of them were escaping France as like criminals or as like unsavory characters, and they changed their names when they came over. So I'm just wondering personally if my last name is LaFrance was originally something more authentically French.
I'm sure it was, and
then they're like
ominously.
Okay, and then like some customs person was like, so it says here you're from France. So what is your last name? It is Le France. That seems reasonable. Stamp.
Likely.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Anyway.
What do you think the crimes were that your ancestors committed?
Not looking down on other people enough. Using baguettes for purposes other than eating. I'll let your imagination figure out the rest.
Pre-adult baby diaper acceptance laws.
Oh God, don't talk about that. I've been involved with a prank war with one of my friends from undergrad, and we
all know Tracy on behalf of everyone.
On behalf of everyone?
Yeah. we all know because we promised the adult baby diapers as a gift to the first fans who draw You With My Cat.
Oh, that's right. We did do that. Oh man.
So
what? Was that our first brain dump episode?
Yeah, it was our first.
Oh God, that episode was
first Brump episode.
Brump.
Shorten that.
Brain dump Brump. The Brump episode. That episode. I haven't listened to it yet.
Officially known as the Yancy St Speakeasy episode 1.5.
I haven't listened to it yet, but from hearing how Max talks about it while he was editing it sounds like a nightmare. Just a little bit.
It was fun.
We were both tired and a teeny bit boozy during that one.
Unlike any of the other podcasts that we've done.
Please, I promote safe and responsible drinking.
I have neither been tired nor buzzed for any of these.
Why would you?
I don't know. Because I don't work and I don't drink. So, obviously, I'm very refreshed and sober.
I had a pretty long day today. Oh, dude. Okay, here's another thing from work. I got another thing from work today.
Tracy's work stories are the best.
Da-da-da. So, today was the busiest day I have worked at the Eco Center yet. Usually, we got 3 times as many patrons as we usually get. Like, we usually get about, 200 people coming through the doors.
So that's 600 people.
I know, dude. Math is awesome, and it served us well here. There was a rap. Oh my God. When I learned my multiplication tables in elementary school, there was a rap, and they had a rap for each one. It's
some kind of forward thinking for Pennsylvania.
I know, right? Well, yeah, there were raps, and one was a calypso song. It was teaching you your fours, your fives, and whatever. The one I remember from grade school the most was because apparently one of the toughest multiplication equations is 8 times 7, which is 56, which I will never forget because there was an entire a pretty fucking lit rap. That rap was #lit. It would just go 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 7 is 56. And I loved that. I ate that shit up when I was little, and I haven't forgot it. So, hey, man, it works. Whatever works, man. Gotta rap. We gotta rap everything.
Rap everything.
Rap all of history. We got the epic rap battles of history. They need to make an entire textbook and make it rhymable.
For sure.
Sounds
easy.
And then, so we had a lot of people come in that day. We had a lot of people come in today. Yeah, it was today. We had is today? And we had a lot of people.
It is a day.
It is.
Is it after midnight? No. It's still today.
Happy New Year. Today is still today. It just got to the end of the day, and I had already dealt with twice as many people as I deal with on a normal basis, and not to say I don't love people, but that day I had to deal with people because our facility is free because we are concerned with educating the masses on environmental stuff, and it's just amazing how privileged people get when something how entitled they feel is your thing isn't working in the back. One of your display screens is a little bit foggy, and I'm like, it's free. Do you want your money back? Here. And I just I blow air on their face. I don't know. And then
I wish I could do that in my job. That would be great.
So that was my I dealt with a lot of people that day, and then I was saying goodbye to this one group of customers, and
Did you say au revoir?
It was no,
because you're French.
No, stop, no. I don't know any French except au revoir and oui oui, which gave me unlimited joy when I was in grade school. This family left, and they had I'd say he's about 4 or 5, and he walked up to me and he gave me a necklace made out of very colorful rubber bands, and he said, "I want you to have this for all the things that you do for us." And my heart grew 3 sizes that day, which was today, because today's today. And that was, oh my God, that just like made it. I was just done.
Did you wee your pants a little bit?
Stop it. I actually wanted to cry a little bit. I did actually.
I would have too.
I was like so burnt out, and then this kid's like, "Here's for everything you do for us," and I'm like, "Oh."
So this one time I was waiting tables, and there was, my cat is coughing right now. I feel tremendously badly. And okay, so I was waiting tables a few years ago, and there was this family that came into the restaurant that I was working in. And they'd come in pretty regularly. I don't know, it was probably like once a week. Mm-hmm. But I always took care of them. And the kids of the grandparents that brought them, at one point, they tipped me in their allowance money. I shit you not.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
Sweet.
I was honestly, I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I take it?
Were you humbled?
I was humbled. I was like, should I take it or should I refuse? I didn't know what to do.
I really want to know, should I stay or should I go?
Yeah. So right. I ended up taking it, and it was awkward, but I don't mean awkward to detract away from the gesture.
Yeah.
Like, I was very, very taken aback. Like, it was incredibly sweet because for me, I was like doing my job. I like people, so I was having fun, but the idea for kids to, like, I'll tell you one thing right now. I didn't have a whole lot of money growing up, but if I had an allowance, like if I had a substantial allowance, I definitely was not giving it away. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that guy, he's hanging out with us anyway. He's bringing me my food just because my grandparents are paying out. Like, mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
He had absolutely no obligation in the world to provide that to you. And now it's like also one of those things where when somebody, most people, when they pay you, they give you like a portion of what they have. Like, they give you what to do. He's like, in that case, that kid's getting an allowance. And I don't know what your allowance is like when you were kids, but it's like one of those instances where that person, that kid probably gave you most of what he had in the world.
Yeah.
And monetarily.
So anyway, similar story, but
yeah,
I felt it in my heart, no doubt about it.
I swear we'll talk about superheroes at some point.
Yeah,
we had some points to make, and ironically, I'm going to be the one that brings us back because I'm always the one that takes us off the subject. And we were talking about, which one were we talking about? Shit.
We were talking about both of them, kind of.
I want to bring this up about the Hulk movie. I thought that it was a very interesting, emotional Hulk story. I thought they did the character a lot of justice, and that they made it about, it's not a guy, he doesn't Hulk out too terribly much in the movie, and when he does, especially the first time he does it in the factory when he's getting pushed by those guys, the dudes that he works with, they make his transformation very cryptic, and they make it very scary. And he's very he's shrouded in shadow, and it's bestial sounds in the background, clinking of pipes, and then just wanton destruction that you get hints that there's something huge in the darkness, but you don't see it until he fucking bursts out of the facility and goes on a rampage.
You know, that does remind me that they did some things well. I mean, I think that initial chase scene followed by the first Hulk out was pretty good.
It was very good.
But that was another thing that confused me when I first watched the movie. At the end of Ang Lee's Hulk, Bruce Banner is in Brazil.
Right.
And so they chose to introduce new Bruce Banner as also being on the run in Brazil.
I mean, that echoes the comics, though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but if they didn't want to confuse people, then probably they shouldn't have taken the direct ending of the first one and made it the beginning of the second one, you know?
Yeah, but I like that they put him there because that's what he does. Bruce Banner is a gentle soul, and he wants to help and not to harm. I like that I love that in the series he keeps referring to it as the other guy. He doesn't want to associate it. He feels like there's a part of himself that he doesn't know or understand, or there's another entity living inside him. And he decides to, instead of being like, wow, whatever, I'll just live with people and risking it, he isolates himself from society. And I think they did a great job portraying Bruce Banner as the kind of gentle soul that he is.
You know, and it's funny because now that I'm actually sitting here thinking about it, I realized that Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of Bruce Banner is much closer. It's much, much closer to the Edward Norton portrayal in The Avengers. But as they go a couple movies on, once they get to Ultron and then to the Ragnarok, it's like it's completely different. Like they don't even try to make it similar.
Well, yeah, his relationship with the Hulk, with the other guy, changes because he realizes that once he can sort of control it, or he can with the help of his friends, he can control it. Randomly being able to control it at the end of Avengers 1. And then Ragnarok, he had been the other guy for a really long time, and so he approached it with caution, because I don't want to. What if the next time I turn into him, I don't turn back?
But even it's not just his relationship with the Hulk, but the entire Bruce Banner portrayal is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that movie Ragnarok in particular had a whole different feel to it.
It did, and I can't say I'm complaining about where it was
No,
going.
not at all. I loved that movie.
But it was just funny because I was thinking to myself the other day that they're such completely different portrayals, like the two actors. And then when you were talking about it, I kind of went back and thought about the portrayal in The Avengers, and he's definitely closer to the Edward Norton, less trusting, a little bit more wary.
Yeah. And I think maybe it would have worked with him being a little more hesitant, or I guess less hesitant. And when you get into Ultron, it would have made more sense if there had been a transition. Maybe if he had a movie in between. But I think the studio doesn't want to make a standalone Hulk movie anymore, because I think he does best when he's bouncing off other things.
Well, there's two reasons for that, or at least a couple. First of all, it's something that you can do one time, but you can't do a lot of times. Making a main character, like, doing his best to avoid being the superhero, you know? I mean,
yeah,
you can
tough.
tell one story like that, but if you keep telling it, it just becomes the same thing over and over again. And you can add it in, like, sprinkle it here and there when you have other main characters or an ensemble. But if he's the only one, then
I was happy. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Because with his, with that kind of hero that's reluctant to be the hero or reluctant to let himself go, I guess. It's if you made multiple movies out of that, it would end up being the same plot over and over. I feel like, but I think that I was pleasantly surprised and also a teeny bit disappointed, I guess, that they decided to make Ragnarok into part Planet Hulk.
You were disappointed?
I was like equal parts like pleasantly surprised and disappointed when I realized that Planet Hulk was going to be in Ragnarok. I was like, this is awesome, but I was also like, that could have been its own movie, I feel like, because that's one where he embraces his inner Hulk a little bit more.
I think that we might have the chance to see Hulk in his solo film now that he's become more popular again. But, Thor Ragnarok did an incredible thing. It made both Thor and the Hulk step back up to, like, top-level Avengers. Like,
yeah.
Because before it was Iron Man and Captain America. Those were the ones that everyone cared about. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, people cared about the Hulk and Thor, but not in the same way.
Yeah, I mean,
they were always secondary to the other two.
Kind of. Hulk is a pretty poignant figure. Like when you see him doing whatever he does, I think it's the fact that he's only been in the major ensemble movies and he hasn't had a little time in the limelight. And I thought that was actually brilliant of them to kind of put them together. Because the first two Thor movies, I definitely loved them. I definitely really, really enjoyed the first two Thor movies, but they didn't stand out.
No, they didn't. The first one was funny, but... The first one was funny, but it's not super memorable. For me, in the first... what do they call it? In the first... phase, Iron Man 1, Captain America, the first Avenger, and The Avengers, all three of those movies stood out to me very, very strongly as movies I will never forget.
Yeah.
And that I could watch any time. Now, I could if I happened to sit down in a place where Iron Man 2 was on, I'd probably enjoy watching it all the way through, almost no matter how many times I've seen it. The same is probably true for Hulk, but and Thor. But if I was sitting somewhere and someone said, "Hey, let's watch Captain America: The First Avenger," I'd be like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it."
Yeah. I love that movie. They're all really cool. They have really interesting set pieces. The character chemistry is amazing. They're relatable. That's, I think, the parts of the original Thor movie I remember best are when he actually does come to Earth, and he's being. I thought. I need to watch the first Thor movie again because I feel like that'd be another one like with the Hulk movie. If I watched it again, I would appreciate it so much more because he drops from this he drops in from Asgard into Earth, and he's like as probably Tony would say, doing his Shakespeare in the Park routine with all these humans around, and he's just like this jack dude, just like, what if is this? And everybody's like, stop punching things. And like,
there are so many great comedic moments. I mean, when he drinks his coffee and he smashes the mug on the ground.
Another! Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
When he goes to the pet store and asks for a horse or a dog big enough to ride. That's fantastic. That's great. That's great stuff. That's great stuff.
Yeah. When the Guardian shows up and levels the town, what's that thing called?
Oh, that's a good question.
The thing that he fights, I can never remember.
I don't remember.
I just remember he just shot lava out of his face, and that was pretty cool.
It was like lava or just a heat beam
or something like that. I choose to believe it's molten lava. Making islands. Making islands.
Making an archipelago.
Making an archipelago
in New Mexico.
An atoll. And not to get too controversial, I did read. I read an article today about a flat earther that was trying to build a rocket. And I had to. I do not think the Earth is flat. I
do.
What?
I definitely think it's flat.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no.
It only makes sense
because you can't see the horizon. It's a fake horizon, man. It's a fake horizon.
When I run, I used to be a distance runner, and when I ran for miles, I never fell down a curve.
Yeah,
I just ran straight, and the floor was still underneath me. So
dude,
obviously,
why aren't people in Australia falling into space? It doesn't make fucking sense. The Earth has to be flat. I don't know where this phenomenon of flat earthers came from, but it's hilarious and a little worrying. But you know what? I gotta commend this one flat earther. He decided to build his own rocket. To launch him into the stratosphere to test for himself to see if the Earth was indeed round. He didn't make it because he built a rocket in his fucking backyard, and he ended up injuring his back very severely.
He probably also did not use physics based on real life gravity.
That this is very possible. But he said that the data that he collected from his flight were inconclusive to determine whether or not. But I will.
You know what it was conclusive for?
Is an excessive amount of ibuprofen in his future to manage the back pain.
I was gonna say it was conclusive that he is not a
cosmonaut.
No, not not a rocketeer.
He don't have the right stuff. I don't know. But, I do have to commend him for taking it into his own hands and not just going online and reading a forum and being like...
How high do you think he got?
Yes. I don't know.
Do you think he got 12 feet off the ground and fell down 12 feet? He fell down 12 feet and hurt his back?
If I'm quoting the article right, I read it this morning. Again, I had a long day, so it might have. It looked like he actually made it out. I think he made a couple of tens of thousands of feet. So it was.
Well, that's a far fall.
That's a decent way. I mean,
But how do you hurt your back?
Maybe he didn't prepare for the inertia of liftoff.
So his back got hurt on the way up instead of the way down.
That's what I think. I think he actually had. I think his. If he didn't have lots of measures to prevent him from hitting the ground at that with gravity increasing acceleration at 9.8 meters per second.
So are you basically telling me that he went 3, 2, 1, lift up, out, ow, ow, oh God.
That's. I'm thinking that's why his data was inconclusive because he was in far too much pain to look at his surroundings. But
so he got high. He got as high as he wanted to actually. But he couldn't look out the window and see if the Earth was...
Yeah, because turning his head would have
slipped... too painful.
Slip in a disc or something. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is good for him for trying and trying to apply some semblance of scientific theory to this.
Or do you think he made it up and down, saw that the Earth was round, and when they asked him, he was like, I don't know, I got hurt.
Confirmation bias.
I got hurt.
Like that. Oh God, guys, look at all sides of every story, man. Confirmation bias is an insidious thing because people always like to look up the things that validate their own life, their own viewpoints. And you gotta look at it all from all sides. Anyway, superheroes are cool, and Thor Ragnarok, more like Boar Ragnarok. Am I right? Haha. No, I actually really enjoyed it. I think they made Thor a really funny and relevant character. Again, not that he wasn't relevant. I thought he definitely shined the most. In the Avengers movie, like he had the first movie, and there were some like really amazing points in that, and he showed up in the Avengers, and then by default, a lot of other characters made him more funny and relatable and relevant because they were picking on him so much for being all like, you know,
Point Breaky.
Yes, Point Breaky.
Point Breaky art. Point. I'm gonna cut that out. That was a bad joke.
No, you know what? I don't want you to cut it out.
I don't care. I'm the editor.
Fuck you.
I'll cut out whatever I want.
Well, not until
if I make a bad joke, you don't get to hear it.
Well,
Tracey gets to hear it.
You're gonna learn me how to edit, and then I'm gonna only leave in the bad parts.
Because that's a great way to...
Our podcast is going to be awful, and you are going to love it. You know what? Actually, so when I went home, I have a friend that did... He was a communications major. And he heard that I was trying to do a podcast, which he's attempted at several points in his life.
Doesn't have what it takes.
He doesn't have the right stuff. The earth is flat. So he gave me a piece of paper, and it listed all the things that we need to consider before making ourselves initiating our podcast, like who what when where why. Like he had this whole thing. It was like, who are
how
we?
many of them did we consider before we started?
We were like, hey, hey, what's up? You're this guy I'm at a Super Bowl party. I like your guac. I like your face. Well, I like the way you talk. I like the way your body moves. Let's do a podcast. And that was pretty much it. But on this thing, it was like, what do you guys want to talk about / wish to accomplish, and how if it's already been done before, how are you going to make it different? And I actually considered that for a long time, but I was like, I mean, there are a lot of nerd podcasts out there. There are a lot of YouTube channels. There are a lot of everything that talks about superheroes and stuff. And I think the way that we're different is that we're a little bit stupid, and we just kind of let things go. We just do the stream.
We just let it all hang out.
I think our stream of consciousness style, our loose-lipped, non-formatted, no script format of doing this is, I think it's what's going to save us.
Also, it's easy to be really confident because we like to drink while we podcast too.
Yeah, we do. We tend to sip. I sip my rum. I nurse it. I always like the term nursing. You're still nursing that drink.
Yeah, I hold it to my nipple.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Fuck, I have nipples. Will you milk me? This is oh my god, Michael Ian Black, you're amazing. Anyway. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with our lives?
Well...
And now, welcome to the point of the show where we have an existential crisis. Thanks for tuning in.
Definitely time for another drink, then.
Yeah, probably. You want me to top us off?
Well, you go right ahead, sir.
No, are you going to stick with what you have?
No, I meant you can top us off.
Oh. Well, fine. All right. How much of this are we going to cut, and how much of this are we not going to cut?
I don't know. I won't know until I listen to this again when I'm sober.
I forget that we can kind of slip into whatever and just kind of...
Thank you.
Talk about whatever the fuck we... Thank you, sir. May I have another?
We can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah,
we could make this a 4-hour podcast if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And then cut it down to 20 minutes.
to 20 seconds. And like the 20 seconds that we leave in is just us screaming at the top of our voices. It's like, welcome to Yancy St Speakeasy. Ah! And it just 20 seconds of that.
That'd be good.
I think that would be great. It's what the world needs, what the world wants. We are high in demand right now.
We are. I demand that we're high.
5 more minutes. Give us some time. Anyway, let's just bring it back in. Hey, future Max, we're going to start talking again in 3, 2, 1. So anyway, Thor Ragnarok, more like Boar Ragnarok, am I right? All right.
I just got a message from the past. Oh man. All right, so
we are refueled and ready to talk.
We are. What fuels us?
Determination. Let's get the uncut shit of this. Mr. Pharrell is a little ninja dude.
My wife found that in the sand at the beach. A little rubber ninja thing. And she's like, Max would like this. He likes nerdy stuff.
That's adorable, actually.
He's a baby.
He's a baby.
It was actually really sweet. She dug it out of the sand and brought it home, and she said, "This is for you." I was like, "Oh, thank you." I mean, like, I can't do anything with it, but the thought was nice.
Yeah.
So I keep him by my computer.
I love it.
And he looks at me with his hands on his hips.
And he tells you to get your shit together.
He does.
And does he? Yeah, get hippin' with it, whip it.
Are you just saying words?
Hit. I'm doing rhyming. All right. The time is currently 17:20, and we're gonna start talking about heroes again because man, we're bad at staying on topic.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah, we really are.
Really are.
Yeah. So. I'm gonna go back to the Hulk for a second. The Edward Norton Hulk movie. I mentioned this. I mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago after watching it. In the deleted scenes, they make reference to this when Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo mentions it in the Avengers. There's a deleted scene in the original Hulk movie. I guess which I don't know if I love that I hated that they took it out, or I love that they took it out because I feel like this would have given the movie a much darker feel. But I think it was very important to his character. There's a deleted scene where he shoots himself, like he tries to commit suicide, and then the Hulk spits the bullet out. And they make reference to that in the Avengers. It's like, I tried to kill myself one time. I put the gun in my mouth, and the other guy spit it out. And I was like, whoa. I remember hearing that in the movie and being like, God damn.
Well, so here's the thing. I've seen that deleted scene, too. I don't think that the scene actually shows the Hulk spitting the bullet out. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the scene ends with the shot. So you don't actually know if he kills himself or not.
Oh, do you think it was like something that was supposed to be towards the end of the movie?
I think that it was going to be the last scene of the movie.
Oh God, that would have been even
So
darker.
that's what I think. I think that they couldn't put it in because it was like...
Yeah.
It was like,
that would have been some risky shit.
Yeah. So I felt like it was better that they... When they put it in the Avengers, it was... It showed that he's been at some dark points in his life, but if they put that at the end of the movie, people would have been like, I thought this was supposed to be a superhero movie.
Yeah. Hey, man, not all superheroes wear capes. Not all superheroes are like super... And that's the end of my
Excited
sentence.
to live.
So that's the end of my sentence. Not all superheroes are super. Yeah, not all superheroes are like really... in a good place mentally, like some people, the people you're talking about in your universe, Got some messed up people in there.
Got lots of messed up people.
Yeah, and I think that's well, and I like that they explore that in the. I finally started watching season 2 of Jessica Jones.
Good job.
I did it. I did it. It took a while. I had to catch up on a lot of things. I went home to see my parents, and they're like, "Let's watch Jessica Jones season 2," and I was like, I haven't seen Luke Cage, Iron Fist, or The Defenders, so
You're a disgrace to your parents and to the superhero community.
That's what I've been saying for years. Mostly the parents thing, though. Anyway, they love me. But I don't know. I haven't actually decided if I'm going to let them listen to these or not. They know that I'm doing them. I told them that I met this fabulous guy named Max, and we're doing a podcast together. But I don't know if I'm going to let them listen to it because I swear a lot, and also they don't understand most of the things I'm talking about. My dad is burnt out on the superhero movies, and he enjoys the Netflix series a lot better. And I think I mentioned that before, but he probably wouldn't understand a lot of the things that we're talking about in the MCU because the shows are very loosely based in the MCU. Like they are in the MCU, and they make hints of it. Like I remember in the first season of Daredevil, them mentioning alien invasions and people with magic hammers and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh, that's the movies, and thinking that's very cool. But at the end of the day, they're very much concerned. They are the street level heroes. And
I'm gonna break it down for you all real quick. There are so many people out there who are so obsessed with the idea that the Marvel TV shows have anything to do with the Marvel movies. I want to break it down for you real quick. So, Joss Whedon, who directed the Avengers, was primarily a television director. Okay, so when he directed the Avengers, his brother, and I believe his brother's wife, started to produce the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is produced by Jed Whedon and Marissa Tancarowen. I believe they're married. Could be wrong about that. But at the time, Joss Whedon was still sort of the head of the Marvel Cinematic Universe under Kevin Feige. Mm-hmm. And now it's the Russo brothers. At the time, there was a much stronger connection between the television shows and the movies because, Joss was always a television guy, and his brother was the one running the TV show. So the TV show producers had scripts from the movies that were coming out, so they would make their TV show happen in a way that not just mirrored the movies, but actually corresponded with the movies. In the days that they came out, like if there was an episode and then a movie and then an episode, that episode that came after the movie would very strongly be impacted by what happened in the movie. But then, once Age of Ultron rolled around, Joss was burned out working with Marvel Studios, and he wanted out. And the Russo brothers took over. The Russo brothers do not have that same relationship with Jed Whedon and Marissa Tancarowen. So they basically said, you guys make your show, you can use, you can mirror what happens in the movies, you can kind of talk about it, but you're not really part of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So what happened was, when Joss Whedon, was in charge of the film side of the MCU, he really worked hard, I think, to expand the connection between the film and television universe. So the MCU was at the height of its all-encompassing nature when Joss Whedon was at the head of it. But when he stopped, the Russo brothers were not interested in dealing with all the TV show because it limits what you can do.
Yeah.
So they just turned completely to the movies. So everything Phase 3 has been basically under their influence.
Yeah.
And
the TV shows just have to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of are left to their own devices, and the Netflix shows were very much the same way. The first one came out around the time that Age of Ultron came out.
Yeah.
So it was around the time that Joss Whedon was working in close connectivity with Marvel Television, ABC Studios, which puts out all the TV shows. Mm-hmm. Even the Netflix ones, they actually are helping produce. But people are constantly online questioning whether any of the characters from the Marvel Netflix shows or any of the characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything like that are going to appear in the movies. And if they do, it has nothing to do with the TV shows. It's because that's the way that the movie was written. And it was really exciting for a time to have a universe where the TV shows and the movies were connected, mm-hmm. because it gave you such an expanded universe. But now we've really gotten to the point where anything that happens in the TV show is not MCU, and the movies are what is MCU.
I had no idea that was the dynamic. I didn't know. I didn't know his family members were into that, or were involved with any of that. That's really interesting.
So, Joss Whedon, as I think we talked about before, he did Firefly, he did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, mm-hmm. he did Dollhouse, mm-hmm. he did Angel, he did... Mm-hmm. What else? I mean, he's been a TV guy for most of his career.
Yeah. And
the Avengers were kind of his first big break. I mean, definitely his biggest budget film by a long shot. So, I mean, some of this is assumption on my part, but I think it's really just connecting the dots. He definitely had a soft spot for the TV side of things, and I don't think that it, I'm sure that the fact that his brother was the showrunner for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. made a difference. I mean, yeah. I think Joss Whedon was even credited with showrunner for the first few episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he gave the scripts to the showrunners of the show and said, this is what's going to happen in the movie so you can build your show around it. Well, they don't have that anymore, I don't think. I don't think that the Russo brothers give Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. showrunners a script. So they're kind of just in this limbo state of, yeah, we're in it, but we're not.
I don't know what to say about that. I had no idea. Yeah, like I said, I had no idea about this dynamic. Yeah.
Don't worry, I just drunkenly monologued for a while.
That was great.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, for sure. Do you want to end things here before they deteriorate anymore?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with us. Have a lovely afternoon, evening, morning, whenever the hell you're listening to us. You're all wonderful and you all matter, and you matter to us, and you matter to the person sitting next to you. No, not that guy, the other guy to your left. All right, have a great night.